Call of Duty is an arcade shooter for a reason. It's very fast-paced, usually, and it's an energetic game, and there are elements of that in every aspect of the game design. The guns, they sound powerful, usually. The movement is smooth, normally. And the reload animations, well, they keep you engaged during the downtime. What's up, everybody? Chaos here. Today, we're going to go over the best reload animations in COD history. These are the animations that stuck with you because they were either cool, slick, or just memorable enough to get you to hit that reload button after firing one bullet. Drop a like for the COD History series being back. Let me know which of these you like the most, and let's start off with the KRM-262 in Black Ops 3. Pump action shoddy, super underrated if you ask me, featured a classic style and some serious stopping power. Now this thing had some insane damage potential, but due to the advanced movement in the open map design, you know, you had to reload each shell individually like mini pumps, but the animation you got when you did it was pretty cool. I mean, it really, really was. It would open up, and then it would close once you were ready to start firing again. It made it one of the most futuristic weapons we've ever gotten in Call of Duty at that time. Now, shotguns were overshadowed in Black Ops 3 by rifles and the Brecci, but the KRM, it was pretty cool. It's still got a fan club to this day. And before we move on, guys, this video is powered by Chaos Comics and whatnot. If you didn't know, I launched a Chaos Comics business channel working on opening a real-life comic book store, and now I am an official seller on whatnot. And if you're not into comics or toys or collectibles, that's cool, because sooner or later, I'll also be auctioning off and doing live auctions on video game stuff. That's right, vintage video game stuff, retro video game stuff. So check it out, guys. Click the link at the top of the description. You guys can get $10 off your first bid or your first purchase on anybody's auction. And make sure you follow the Chaos Comics account. We are growing it over there. Me and Grady are doing our first live auction this Saturday together. I'm really excited about it, and I would love to see some of you over there. So go check out the Chaos Comics channel. Go follow Chaos Comics on whatnot, and maybe I'll see you in the auction on Saturday. Now, the L4 Siege in Black Ops 3. It was an awesome launcher in theory, but it wasn't the best in practice. Granted, it did have a really cool reload animation. That's why it's here. The supply drop exclusive was a quad barrel rocket launcher with rather low damage. It required 2 to 3 hits to kill an enemy, but it did feature a rather high rate of fire for an explosive weapon. It had an awesome reload animation too, because there isn't really a normal way to reload a weapon like this. It was a little frustrating to pull this from a supply drop due to how low the chances of getting weapons from Black Ops 3 were, but if you did get it, it was cool. It was cool to look at, and the firing sound, it was pretty cool too. The G3 in COD 4. We are going way back. It's one of the most underrated weapons in COD 4. Sure, it didn't kill as fast as the M16, but that's not its fault. Semi-auto rifle was like a precursor to the FAL, featured super low recoil, a super high fire rate cap, but it would drop enemies with 2 bullets as long as you were running stopping power. The reload animation, though, it was simple. Well, it was relatively simple, but what made it cool was the slap at the end. Your character pulled out the mag, threw a new one in, and gave it a nice little tap or slap for good luck. It was cool to me. Maybe I'm biased because I thought the gun was crazy underrated, but I swear the G3's reload animation, it was smooth. It was awesome. The Outlaw in Black Ops 4. I've done my fair share of bashing this gun in the past, I do remember, but I've also defended it a number of times. I think I balanced it out. Frankly, I'm not sure where I stand on its performance, but I think it had an awesome reload. It was a hybrid of a revolver and a sniper rifle that may not have done a lot of damage below the neck, but it was still a one-shot headshot from any distance, which means it would reward you for aiming high and getting consistent. Now the reload, it was awesome. It was really like a giant rifle-shaped revolver, and even if you hated using it, you couldn't deny it was a really cool weapon to watch. Yes, the hit markers were ridiculous, but at least you had a nice reload animation that has to be worth something. The Barrett 50 cal in COD 4 may be a bit of a left field pick, but I think the Barrett had an awesome reload animation. Bulky sniper rifle, hit like a truck, but had some massive movement penalties to balance it out. Everybody remembers the firing sound, but the reload animation, it gave it a lot of extra weight. The way your character hoisted the gun up, slowly swapped the mag, it made it feel a lot heavier and more impactful, and it really added to the immersion of COD 4 as a whole. I mean, the Barrett was mostly unchanged across the original 3 Modern Warfare games. Something about the COD 4 version felt extra heavy. I think it came down to that animation. Speaking of heavy, the blunderbuss in Advanced Warfare and COD World War II, let's put them together. The joke of a shotgun that was first added to Call of Duty with Advanced Warfare and eventually brought back in COD World War II. Now, it boasted some serious power. It was virtually always a one-shot kill, but the fire rate, there was no fire rate. It could only fire once before needing to be reloaded. Granted, The reload animation was top-notch. You had to load the pellets, you had to load the powder, you had to pack it in, you had to prepare it for battle once again. The blunderbuss was never a viable weapon, but it was fun to goof around with, and on shipment, you could actually hit some clips with it. The G36C in Modern Warfare 3. Now, the ACR 6.8 was a rifle of choice for most people in MW3, but if you wanted to go against the grain, if you wanted to remain competitive, the G36C. A bit more kick to it, but a nearly identical damage profile, slightly higher rate of fire, albeit without a 2-shot kill range. Now, in terms of stats, the ACR was the better weapon overall. But the G36C was viable. There's no denying it had a way better reload animation. The ACR reload was a simple mag replacement, but the G36, it let you see both mags on screen at once as your character swapped them out with a single hand. Granted, I have no idea how he hit the release while doing it, so it's probably not the most realistic animation, but was anybody playing Modern Warfare 3 for realism? I think not. It was a slept-on weapon, and it had one of the best animations in the game. The M27 in Black Ops 2. Man, it has one of the most reused animations in Black Ops history, and it's not hard to see why. Up to this point, most assault rifles had rather similar reload animations. Your character hit the release, dropped the current mag, snapped a new one in. But the M27 stood out because you would flick it. The whole gun, actually being launched out by flicking the whole gun down before snapping the new mag in. Plus, if you had to dry reload, you got the flick animation and a dramatic pull of the slide, which just gave the gun even more character. Black Ops 2 was one of the most memorable games in COD history because of how much personality every weapon had, and the M27's reload animation was a fan favorite, and then it was reused 4 or 5 times in future Treyarch games. The Man of War in Black Ops 3. Now, the M27 was the first COD assault rifle to feature a flicked reload animation, but the Man of War was the evolution of it. Now, the M27 was a smooth flick outward. The Man of War was a heavy flick down, which made the gun feel a lot heavier in your character's hands. Plus, the futuristic design of the weapon itself made it extra cool as it reloaded and prepared yourself for the next firefight. The Man of War was one of my favorite weapons in BO3, and I do not deny that the reload animation played a part in it. It was such a cool way to keep you engaged with the game during the downtime, and for a guy like me that reloads all the time, it was good. Treyarch may be on the community's bad side after Black Ops Cold War, but they've made some cool things to look at. The CM901 in Modern Warfare 3. You know how I said the M27 was the first COD game to feature a flicked reload? I lied. The M27 may have flick reloads popular, but the CM is actually where it started. You just didn't remember that because everybody slept on the gun. Extremely powerful gun, could kill in 2 bullets if you could aim high. Since it had a lot of recoil, most people didn't use it. Like the M27, this reload animation was a flick downwards to the middle of the screen, but it had more weight behind it. The M27, smooth and sleek. The CM901, heavier and aggressive, almost like your character was trying to get the job done as fast as possible. Now, if you're still playing MW3 through Plutonium on the PC, go try the CM901, partially because you probably slept on it, partially because it made you feel like a boss every time you hit the reload button. Now we've arrived at the top 5 reload animations in COD history. Counting down. At number 5, the BRM in Black Ops 3. Now, BO3 did a great job of taking established COD weapon archetypes and making them feel more futuristic. The BRM was your traditional LMG with a low rate of fire but super high damage and cover penetration. It made it a popular choice for people who liked holding down lays of maps and spraying objectives or camping. But what gets the BRM on the list today is a very detailed reload animation that helped remind you that you were indeed playing a futuristic Call of Duty game. The gun slid the mag out automatically and unscrewed it while your character pulled a new mag out and put it in position. Then, the screws would automatically lock themselves back in place and prepare the weapon to fire. It was an awesome animation that felt futuristic, but not excessively so, which is kind of a hard balance to hit in a COD game. You don't want to go too futuristic and wacky, but you still want a reminder that you were playing a futuristic game. The FAL in Modern Warfare 2 lands at number 4. There's something cool about a new magazine, or using a new mag to pop out the empty one. We've all seen animations like this in Call of Duty, but I do believe the Modern Warfare 2 FAL was the first to do it. Semi-auto rifle, extremely powerful, super underrated firing sound, but whenever you hit the reload button, your character took out a shiny new mag and used it to hit the release on the gun, flicking out the old mag and replacing it to get you back in the fight. This animation was recycled for a number of future COD weapons, the BO2 FAL, the BO3 KM44, the Modern Warfare 2019 FAL, and I'm sure there's more that I missed. But it all started with the Modern Warfare 2 FAL. Yeah. At number 3, the Venom X in IW. It's one of the weirdest weapons of all time, and whenever we talk about cool guns or wacky COD guns, it ends up being toward the top of the list. I honestly don't even know how this thing works. I just know you load it up with alien venom sacs, and then they blow up. It first appeared as a power weapon as one of the ops in Call of Duty Ghosts before being brought back as a standard multiplayer weapon in IW, which was a nice callback to the fan favorite launcher. Now hopefully the Venom X comes back eventually, but that would probably involve us going back to the future, and I'm not sure if the community wants that. I kind of do though. At number 2, the Honey Badger in Ghost, easy pick. It's one of the most popular rifles in the game, still considered to be the best in the game. The integrated suppressor gave it extra character, and the high rate of fire meant it was competitive at both close and long range. The pitter-patter of the firing sound was awesome enough, but every time you hit the reload button, your character basically did the M27 reload, but in reverse. Instead of flicking the mag down and out, they flicked it off to the side, which was a first for Call of Duty. No reload animation before or since you the right side of the screen for getting rid of the magazine. It was cool. Maybe I'm a nerd, but the Honey Badger reload was sick, and I'm surprised it wasn't reused in every other mainline game. And yes, I know it was brought back in Modern Warfare Remastered, but I don't think that counts. And at number 1 today, come on, OGs, the AKimbo M1911s in Black Ops 1. This may not be what you were expecting, but the Akimbos were awesome most of the time. If you still had bullets in the mag, it was just a regular pistol reload. But if you fired all 7 shots and you did a dry reload, you were treated to one of the coolest animations in any first-person shooter. Your character dropped the mag, put a new one in off-screen, and then pulled the slide back with one hand in a way that probably isn't even remotely practical, but it was awesome. Black Ops 1 had a ton of little details that made you feel like an action movie star, and the Akimbo M1911s was a perfect example. Treyarch could have just done the reload off screen because there's no practical way to reload 2 guns at once, but instead, they came up with an awesome and totally immersive animation that fit with the setting of the game, and it kept you engaged with the combat despite the fact you were running around with 2 dinky handguns. I probably just overanalyzed that, but I don't care. There you go. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, be sure to check out Chaos Comics and Chaos Comics on Whatnot, and I'll see you soon.